By 1945, Japan was a nation that had ceased to function. Imagine standing in the center of Tokyo and seeing nothing but scorched earth for miles. The air smelled of ash, and the silence was only broken by the footsteps of millions who had lost everything. The economy hadn't just collapsed, it had vanished. History tells us that a defeat this absolute usually leads to decades of darkness. But Japan's story was about to take a turn that no one, not even the Japanese themselves, could have predicted. As the smoke cleared, an unlikely figure arrived, General Douglas MacArthur. He wasn't just a soldier, he became the architect of a new nation. Under his leadership, the transformation was brutal and swift. The once mighty imperial army was dismantled. A new democratic constitution was drafted, one that stripped the emperor of his divine status and handed power back to the people. But it wasn't just politics. MacArthur initiated massive land reforms, taking power away from wealthy elites and giving it to the farmers who worked the soil. This was the first spark of a new middle class. But why was the United States, a bitter enemy just months prior, suddenly acting as Japan's benefactor? The answer lies in the shadows of a new global conflict, the Cold War. The world was splitting in two. In the east, the giant of China was turning red with communist revolution. The Soviet Union was stretching its shadow across the Pacific. American leaders realized a terrifying truth. A weak, starving Japan was a breeding ground for communism. To prevent Asia from falling, Japan had to become a capitalist fortress. The reverse course began. Instead of punishment, America provided raw materials, technology, and access to their massive markets. The factories didn't just restart, they were upgraded for a new era. Infrastructure was rebuilt from the ground up. Cities that were once piles of rubble began to reach for the sky with steel and neon. What followed was not just a recovery, it was a miracle. Within a single generation, the nation that had been bombed into the Stone Age became the second largest economy on Earth. How did a people who lost everything find the will to outpace the world? How did "Made in Japan" go from a label of cheap toys to a symbol of global technological supremacy? That is the mystery we are about to unravel in our next chapter.